Hello and welcome to another tutorial for Excel users. In this tutorial we're going to start looking at calculating across different worksheets in the workbook we set up in the previous tutorial. As you can see here we have 5 worksheets, 4 weeks, plus a summary worksheet. And on week 1 we have the cell here F2, which basically on each worksheet will keep a running total of the week's sales, or of the month's sales as the weeks go by. And as you can see here, it refers to cell D13, which is fine for week 1 because it doesn't take into account any other sales. But if we go to week 2 and look at the corresponding cell, again it's referring to D13, but there's a problem here because it doesn't include the week 1 sales, and obviously this should be a running total. So we need to modify the formula in F2, and to do that I'm going to double click, and that will put it into edit mode. Just click at the end of that formula there, press plus on the keyboard, and now I'm going to go back to sheet 1, or week 1 as we call it. Click on cell F2 in week 1 and then press the enter key, and that's done. Now if I go back to the formula and we have a look at the formula bar, you'll see the calculation is now equals D13 plus, and then the name of the worksheet that we took the value from and the cell reference where the value is contained. So it's week 1 F2. You'll see that week 1 is actually surrounded by apostrophes, and there's a reason for that. Following that we have an exclamation mark and then the cell reference. So we have the sheet name, an exclamation mark which is basically the divider between the sheet name and the cell reference, and finally the cell reference itself. Now the reason week 1 has apostrophes around it is because we have a space in the name of the worksheet. If there was no space there'd be no apostrophes. And at the end of the tutorial we're going to modify the worksheet names, and you'll see the effect it has on the name in the formula. Okay, so that basically has updated this calculation, so now it includes week 1, and I'm going to go through each week and update the F2 cell to include the previous week's total, so we have a proper running total. So I'm going to go to the week 3 tab, or the week 3 sheet, click on F2 again, well double click, and again just click at the end there, plus on the keyboard, click on week 2, click on the previous week's running total in F2, press enter, and that's it. The running total is now 622.15. So finally we go to week 4, and here we have F2 again. I'm going to delete the formula this time and do the whole thing from scratch. So equals, click on D13, which is the value from this week, or the total sales from week 4, press plus on the keyboard, click the week 3 sheet tab to go to that worksheet, click the running total from week 3 in cell F2, press enter, and there we have the final running total for the month, at the moment 831.90. And of course if any value changes, if I go back to week 1 and modify any one of these figures here, so if we update our sales for 2001 A Space Odyssey from 5 rentals to say 10 rentals, you'll see it obviously updates all the figures on this worksheet. So we have month to date is now 181.60, but it also updates all the following weeks as well. So we now have a final updated month to date running total of 841.65. The summary worksheet, if I click into F2 here, you'll see it's referring to D13. Now here it's fine because all the values here will refer back to the previous 4 sheets, as you will see in the final tutorial. But to close out this tutorial, what I want to do is change the name of the worksheets. And as you can see at the moment we have week and then a space and then a number, and so I'm going to change that so it says week 1 all as one word. And if I just go to week 2 first of all and look at that formula, as you'll see we have week 1 is the sheet reference, and it has the apostrophes there, and that's because it does include the space. So let's see what happens when we modify the worksheet name. So I'm going to double click on the worksheet, so we go into edit mode, just click at the end of the word week, press delete, press enter. So now we've changed the sheet name, and if I go back to week 2 and we have a look at the formula bar, you will see it's updated the sheet name and the calculation still works, but the apostrophes have disappeared. So a little tip really, if you want to keep your sheet names nice and simple, is to have them as a single word rather than multiple words with spaces. What I'll do finally is go through each of these worksheets and modify the worksheet names so we don't have any spaces. So that's week 2 updated. Double click on week 3, just delete that space. Double click on week 4, delete the space there, and that's all done. So again, all the worksheet names, if I just select F2, there we have it in week 4, in week 3, and in week 2, and you'll see the worksheet names have all updated in the formula bar to reflect the new sheet name. In the final video in this mini-series looking at using worksheets, we'll look at creating a sum function for our summary worksheet that will take values from the previous 4 worksheets. And we'll also look at some of the problems that can crop up with worksheet names. So thank you for watching this tutorial. Hope you found something useful in there, and see you next time.